The rape and murder of Valerie Lorde is a seminal event in the recent history of violence against women in Saint Lucia. On Thursday, 20th April, her family unveiled a modest monument to her memory.
The support that we got since the idea came up, and by the amount of people who turn out today without invitation, is an indication there is support and people still understand what is happening. So we are very grateful for all those who've made it. And I heard a lot of stories that I haven't heard before. And that gives me the joy that things happen. So those stories could have been revealed.
When on the morning of April 4th, 1994, it was discovered that Valerie Lorde had failed to return home the night before, her family pressed the panic button. It was completely out of character for the 21-year-old and prompted a flood of frantic calls and inquiries to friends and family, all returning empty-handed. The next sensible step was to undertake a search mission. Within minutes, less than 100 meters from her home, Valerie Lorde laid on the ground with obvious signs of a deadly, brutal attack.
When my sister called me and told me that she didn't come home for the night, and I felt that was so strange. So I called my other relatives in Granivier and tell them that. And later on they called me and they tell me they found her, but she's dead. So by the time I left Grosy, they come here. When I reach, I see everybody. My mom was sitting up there and direct me to the body, which is just on the other side of the road there. And it was, what can you say? It was a shock.
Her brother, Nobert Lorde, says 28 years on and the pain feels just as raw as on the day of the deadly discovery.
Though it is for 25 years, it is as vivid as yesterday. And it was a terrible thing to go through. It is still, having been so close to my sister, because we were the only full brother-sister. The others were like half-sisters, half-brothers, all right? And we were very closely related and we discussed everything together. And having lost at such an, early age makes it they make the experience very, very difficult.
The brutal rape and murder of Valerie Lorde 28 years ago left an indelible mark not only on her family. Her friend Zachary Hippolyte revealed for the first time in public that he had been approached by Valerie Lorde to escort her home on that very night. He was 15 years at the time and lived with the pain ever since.
That's kind of like the first time I'm actually publicly revealing this, that the death of my friend and former youth president of the River Meter Youth Club, Valerie Lorde, was actually the reason why I became a police officer. Because on that fateful night, April 4th, 1994, that night myself and some of my friends, we were playing a game of dominoes in the community hall at the time, and Valerie passed, and she asked for us to go and drop her, but we were so engrossed, we were so immature at the time as young boys. I think I was about 15, 16, that we didn't bother, to go and drop her. And then the next day, as we all know, she was found brutally killed, and so at this memoriam today, I had the opportunity to finally get this off my chest, because after 28 years, I still feel the guilt. She was the reason why I became a police officer, because in my mind, being a police officer to pursue sexual offenders and investigate those crimes was my way of atoning for not getting up on that night to go and escort my friend to her residence.
The murder of Valerie Lorde left its mark on the St. Lucian society and was a wake-up call for the campaigners against gender-based violence. The friends and family of Valerie Lorde have erected a shrine to her memory on the day when she would have turned 50 to keep the horrific events of that fateful day and the lessons to be learnt alive for generations to come. Saint Lucian for the HTS News Force.